What is up, everyone? David here with Core Confidence, and excited to kick off Mojo Mondays for you today with the topic of where will your love life be 1 year from now? Can help you guys with this to help you look into the future. What happens if you don't take action and nothing changes and it stays the same as it was a few months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years, 5 years, however long it's been, right? That you haven't gotten what you want. And so excited to do that and talk about some things to help support you so you can have what you want in a year from now, hopefully sooner, but certainly a year from now, right? Because time is a waste and life is going by. So, going to be sharing several keys with you here in the training as usual. And, like, comment, share below. If you like what you hear, encourage you to smash the like button. Share this out because there are people, fellow successful businessmen like you that could benefit from this. And if you want to keep it more private, that's cool too. I understand, but some of you are sharers. Some of you may not be, whatever you're comfortable with. But encourage you to share it, spread the word if you get value out of it. And of course, comment below. I want to hear what you guys think as we're going through this and get some feedback and hear if things are resonating, not resonating, any questions, that kind of thing as we go through. Okay. So, and make sure to stay till the end because I will be talking about a way that you can get more help with this stuff. If you're a successful businessman who needs help with this, it has business dialed in, etc. Some other areas of life going pretty well. Don't have to be perfect, but and help you with your love life here if it's not going the way that you want it to. Okay. So again, I'm David Hamilton with Core of Confidence. I help successful businessmen to rock it in their love lives. Okay. You're a high achiever. You've done that stuff and you're on the business side of things. And it's, we know relationships are tough, right? For all of us. I'm not perfect. I go through my stuff with women and all that stuff as well. But I definitely have found ways to help attract women, get them really interested, get them chasing even. And that's what Core Confidence is all about. It's been one of my biggest pain points. And so that's why I do what I do here today. Okay. As a coach, as a mentor, as somebody side by side in the journey, maybe a little bit ahead in certain ways, but on that fundamental human level, we're all equal, right? So, today here talking about where you're going to be in your love life 1 year from now. Okay. So, look, a lot of times we live life as if we're immortal in a lot of ways. Now, I will say that as I've gotten older, I'm 43 years old right now. That sense starts to slip away. It really does. And we know that time is of the essence. And because, right, you're successful in your business, you know that money comes and goes, it goes up and down. But of course, on the up and up, you do well in your business, invest it, properly and all that stuff and accumulate a decent amount of wealth of sorts. I'm not talking about being a billionaire or super ultra, mega 100 millionaire or whatever, but maybe some of you are that come through here. But what I am saying is that we know, especially as entrepreneurs, business owners, that time is of the essence and time is way more valuable than money, right? And so you got to consider here that, a lot of times we want to put it off. I'll work on the business more. Certainly you want to, do that and spend time with your kids, but we're not allocating the right and proper time to really upgrade this area of life so you can really have what you want, right? And so it's really easy to slip through the cracks. And then a year goes by and it's like, where'd that go, right? And it's almost like Groundhog Day in your love life, dating, relationships with women. And maybe right now you're in a place where you're not really seeing any women. Might have some confidence issues going on or whatever it is, kind of just got disconnected from the dating scene. Or another likely case is that you're settling. There are women that are attracted to you, but the women that, that you're attracting, you're not really attracted to, you're not really into, whether short or long term. And vice versa, the women that you want aren't responding to you in the way that you'd like them to. They are not chasing you. They are putting you in the friend zone. They are flaking out. Or maybe there's some initial interest, but it dies away. All of a sudden you get the let's just be friends, right? All that kind of stuff. There's another guy I'm seeing. There's somebody else. I don't think it's going to work out. All those types of things, right? So everything here is designed to help you move out of that and into the love life, your 10 out of 10 that you love and deserve. The love life that you, the love life that you want and deserve. Okay. So, so let's dive into the first thing here. How are you gonna make sure that you're not in the same place a year from now, and that you're in the right relationship with your ideal type of woman, basically? Okay. And so the first thing here is you got to make the commitment. Okay. I know it sounds simple. I know it sounds silly, maybe, because you're like, yeah, I know that I've had to make the commitment in my business, but how we approach things in one area of life doesn't necessarily transfer over inside of our psyches, right? As we'd like. And it's easy to keep going in the direction where we're successful and comfortable, and then not put the time and commitment in, the commitment mainly, and that's what comes first, is that commitment to up level your love life. Because without that, ain't nothing going to happen, as we say out here in the West. Ain't nothing going to happen. So where's your commitment level at? And put in the comments below. Are you really committed, semi-committed, not really committed at all? Because if you're not, I can tell you this definitively, and I know you know this because you're successful in biz. Hey, nothing's really going to shift or change if I don't make that decision to commit and handle this, right? I know it sounds like way too basic on some level. It's like, where's what to do and say? Well, to be honest, what to do and say is never the real problem, right? And whenever I hear that on a breakthrough call that a guy reaches out to book in, and he says to me, I don't know what to do and say, it's usually a fear problem / confidence, a commitment problem of some kind. Not, only wanting to stick to hide behind online dating, thinking that it's going to be easier to use because, that it's going to actually get results. I mean, it's easier to use and swipe, but the results don't turn out, right? I speak to guys every week, and it's like, the online dating, how's that working? Not good. And especially if you're into women that are younger. The age filtering is crazy on online dating. The women are looking at you in a different way. And that's why we always talk about meet women socially, integrate that into your life. We're going to talk about that point in a little bit here too. Okay. So make that commitment. If you haven't made that commitment, I ask you to make that commitment now, and even type in the comments, say, I make that commitment, David. I'm committed. And I'm going to be, and now look, it doesn't mean that it has to be the number one priority. Obviously your business, business life comes first, right? Absolutely comes first. And your kids, if you're a single father, you've been married once, twice, hopefully not 3 times a lady, but if you are, that's cool, right? I think the most I've ever heard is 4 times. I hear a guy that said 5 times on a call. Oh man, I was just like, oh man, what are you doing, brother? No, but I get it. If you believe in the institution of marriage and all that you try and try. But again, things are different in the institution of marriage these days. And most guys don't understand really how attraction works. They fell into a marriage at a high school, at a college, in their early 20s or something like that. And, at a time when the peer groups were as they were, and, college is a place where some have said women go there to get married, not necessarily to get a degree, right? So obviously some do go to get a degree, and more these days women are independent. I think that's fine, not a bad thing. But there are women there that are looking to get hitched, and they're not necessarily basing it on how attracted they are on a deep level to the guy, deep connective level, right? So got to make that commitment, because as I always say, when I talk to guys, the common point of attraction in all our relationships is us, is you, right? So you got to make that commitment there, okay, to change you, okay? Now, second goes right along with this is you got to carve out the time along with that. You can't just say, well, I'm committed. Okay, so we're in your schedule. You're going to do this. You're going to, make some time to meet women socially, up the social life. Oh, well, I mean, I already go to work and that's pretty social. It's like, no, that's not social enough, man. That's a different, it's not the kind of social I'm talking about, right? And look, some guys that come to me have a pretty good social life in place. And so we can turn around a lot of the pedestalizing and pursuing the women and, you know, really flip the vibe over and everything to get the women chasing. And sometimes pretty rapidly, depends on where the guy's at, right? In his own psyche, in his own psychology, in his own vibe, right? And then there are guys that have less of a social life, or they haven't really been capitalizing in ways they could, but there's a lot of resources around them because they haven't been looking through a social lens. They're looking for the online dating app lens, we'll just call it the shit show lens. And it's actually not too far, but got to get in the momentum and the habit. And then there are guys that are pretty reclusive, okay? And that's, you know, that is definitely a tougher situation. It's totally fixable, but that commitment level's got to be super high or higher than, you know, these other guys, because you're going to have to probably work through some energy issues, some momentum issues, just to being social, being comfortable in these environments, right? And I absolutely help guys with that. I used to coach exclusively on social anxiety and social confidence for both men and women before I kind of narrowed my focus and said, man, this is been the most painful issue for, you know, clients that I worked with, and certainly for me. Why don't I just focus on this? Because this is so important, that as a successful businessman, because it also holds back your success, right? I mean, I know you're successful, but imagine having that supportive, loving woman by your side where there's that chemistry, there's that connection, there's that intimacy, right? All that stuff. And Napoleon Hill talks about this, and I'm sure many of you have read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't, you've got to. He talks about how those, you know, relationships create even more success in business for guys with the right woman. Now, this isn't a gold digger woman. This is a supportive woman and sees it as a team, right? Sees you guys as a team. And I know a lot of you have been in relationships with women, AKA your ex-wives, that weren't that or didn't understand it, right? So that's important too, right? So back to this point though, if you're not carving out the time to build, you know, focus on this part of your life, it's just not going to fix itself. You can't just say you're committed. You have to put the time in. I know, again, it seems obvious. It's very connected to the last point, but we have to break it down in these two wings here in order to really make it clear. So you're not in the same place next year in your love life, okay? And not just focusing on business, being reclusive, hiding away, even in your friend circles or family stuff. Again, I'm not saying you discard that stuff at all. And here's the thing. I'll talk to guys in breakthrough calls, right? And I'll often ask about if they have kids. I'll want to know, you know, hey, how's this affecting the kids? And sometimes, not all the time, I will hear, Dad, I just wish you'd find a great woman. We love you so much. You're such a great guy. We want the best for you. They don't want, and the dad might sometimes be a bit of a helicopter dad or, you know, over nurturer. And the kids are a little bit like, Dad, we love you, but, you know, get away a little bit. Go. These are especially, you know, more teenage kids, right? Less so with the younger kids, but, you know, it can still happen. They want what's best for dad, and dad wants what's best for them. And that's also dad wanting to be a role model for the son and the daughter, right? For the daughter to have a healthy relationship with the man down the road so he can be a healthy role model of that and bring a healthier woman or healthy woman into the home once she's, you know, qualified through to meet the kids, right? For him to bring her around the kids. And then of course with the son, if the son has shyness or confidence issues, or you just kind of get it with women, you know, and some, you know, sometimes a guy will have a couple sons and a daughter, a couple daughters, a son or two, whatever. And sometimes one son will be shy and one son will be, oh, he's already got it, right? Even when the dad hasn't got it, he can kind of recognize it. Or maybe the dad used to have it in college or younger, but he lost his way, right? I help with that situation a lot too, kind of reclaiming the mojo, I call it, right? Getting the mojo back, but still in a new way, because we're all about leading the women to chase here, not chasing the women, which is pretty much what every other system, method, whatever you want to call it, a methodology out there advises, okay? So does that make sense, guys? Is that making sense? Drop a comment below if that's making sense so far. If you resonate with anything, have a question. I know it's pretty simple stuff. Probably no major questions around this, but there could be. So I want to invite you guys to chime in here if you feel inspired to. Okay. And so the third one here is, to build a lifestyle. If you don't want to go around being a hunter or a pickup guy, you got to build a lifestyle. And it's really the best way. I was, some video came on last night about American Idol, okay, and all the contestant winners. And I think it was season 4, Carrie Underwood, amazing country singer, very beautiful, stereotypical beautiful blonde type girl for a lot of us. I find her, it's funny, I'm not super into blondes necessarily, though being a blonde, you can kind of attract those, I guess, or I'm kind of a dirty blonde, darker now. I used to have blonder hair. When I get in the sun, it gets blonder. But I kind of was like curious about her story and how she came through American Idol. And then I saw that she was married, and I looked up how they met. And how did they meet? Well, they met through social circles, right? But the guy had some mojo. He also was successful, but he wasn't just some slouch. He wasn't like super out of shape. I'm not saying you have to be in the best shape, but her reaction was, oh, he's super hot, right? And so that's how at the highest levels it's done. And it applies at these, celebrity levels, I guess highest. I mean, we're all people, right? But it still applies to the levels we're on. And you don't have to like only meet through friends, right? And in fact, celebrities probably need to prefer that. It's even harder for them because they've got fans and weirdos and all these people after them, whether men or women, if they're a male celebrity or female. But that social element is still super critical, right? And that means actually having social skills to meet new people, make new friends, meet new women when you're out and about, okay? And again, this isn't hitting on or picking up or this hardcore pursuing mentality at all. It's real, much more natural, integrated interactions. So you got to focus on building a lifestyle. And some of you know that. And some of you, when guys come to me, they'll have a lot of it, but they're just like, I don't know what's going on. And they'll even have a lot of interaction and women like reaching out to them. But then it just dies off quick because the guys are chasing and pedestalizing and all the stuff where the women are just getting turned off, right? It's just a disaster, right? It's a disaster. Or they're spending a ton of money or all this stuff, right? And have a fair amount of disposable income being a successful guy. But hey, wouldn't it be nice to invest that into a woman who really deserves it down the line, and also one that'll appreciate it? Wouldn't that be better to invest that into more investments, in the stock market and real estate, things like this, right? Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is the new rage. I have a friend who's getting actually a degree in it. So he's schooling me on it and a lot of cool potential there. But you want to, right? So you got to have that lifestyle. And so some guys just don't have that in place. And it's just, you just want to have it for so many reasons, but especially for attracting the highest quality women. Okay. She wants a guy that has some kind of social life going on. It doesn't have to be ultra crazy or super party, but that you got stuff going on, right? Because look, we also know, and part of what you probably experience is fifth wheel syndrome, right? Fifth wheel syndrome is when you're not able to lock it down into a relationship with a quality woman and you're getting invited to events, say through entrepreneurial networking circles or charity events or galas. And a lot of times they're going to be coupled up and you're tired of going alone. And some of these things might be pretty much couples events. It may not be exclusively said, but it's really implied that it should be for that. And you're just like, right. It's just painful. You get invited to trips down to the Caribbean, ski trips in the mountains of Colorado, let's say, right? And it's a bunch of couples and you don't have a woman that you really want to take with you. And that's painful. And so you opt out of going on the trip because you don't have someone, right? And then you're missing out on the experience of the trip, one, because you're tired of doing that, and two, to have that experience of that intimate connection with your sweetheart at your side that's your ideal 9 or 10, right? So lifestyle is so key to attracting her, okay? Attracting these types of women, a pool of women, the ideal situation I want every guy to be in that I help is to have a pool of high quality women where it's like, oh, this girl's cool, this girl's cool, this girl's cool. Oh, it's a little bit hard to pick, but then there's going to be that one connection, but still it's like, they're all such great women. I hate to let any of them down, but I'm going to have to, when the time is right, to have that ideal relationship with that loving, supportive, that obviously hot, intimate, sexual connection, but more than that, personality connection as well, the whole package deal, right? So that's the third point. And then last but not least, getting the right support. Obviously, you're here to get some right support. But, when you go for advice, a lot of times the internet, it's going to be just be yourself. And, you got to be in the best physical shape possible. I'm not saying be a slouch, but it'll be, you really got to look good, and you got to completely have your fashion dialed in, your cologne, all these things. I'm not saying those things don't apply, but this focus on that, right? Or this focus even on, you got to, ask the girl out and put yourself on the line and all this stuff, right? Just put it out there. Now, of course, we got to put ourselves in line by interacting socially, but there's also way too much advice out that's like pursue, chase. The man is supposed to chase. It's just not the highest and best, right? And especially not for ROI, right? Return on investment and your time and energy spent, and certainly money, right? Which is a big issue for a lot of guys that come to me, probably a lot of you as well, okay? Given that you have a lot of disposable cash around, but it's, that money doesn't come from anywhere. You worked hard in your business to generate it, and you have to keep putting it in your business. You got to, pay for the kids if you have the kids, all that stuff. It'd be nice to have some more of that cash back and to spend it on the woman down the line, and have it in a way that she's going to want to split 50-50 a lot of time, especially if a lot of guys want a woman that has her stuff together, that isn't looking for a handout or have a bunch of kids from a former husband or baby daddy, right? But you got to understand that if you're spending all this money in a woman and coming from that mindset too, it doesn't matter how much she makes, she'll expect it. Okay. And so you got to know how to attract in the right way with the vibe, which is, everything we talk about here. So, getting the right support is really important, especially if you want to learn how to be what I'm now starting to call the irresistible guy, the guy that men want to be and women want to be with. Okay. Now, this is also sometimes counterintuitive because it's like, you got to outcompete the other guys and take them down. No. That's not the guy we're aiming to be. Okay. So, getting the right support. And speaking of that, if this is something that you don't want to just leave to chance to happen, or hopefully happen by this time next year, that another year's gone by and you still don't have what you want, whether you're dating some women or not at all, we can jump on the phone for about 45 minutes or so on a free breakthrough session where we'll map out a plan for your love life. We'll talk about what's working, what's not, what your challenges are, and map out a plan to overcome them, appropriate steps, your vision of your ideal love life with your ideal woman. We've been talking about what she looks like, get crystal clear on those characteristics of her, and all that needs to shift in order for you to attract your ideal love life, your 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. Let's just say 10 out of 10. I keep saying that because some guys out there are like, I don't believe in 10 out of 10. Fair enough. 9.9 or 10 out of 10. So just type call in the comments below. Type call in the comments below, CALL, if you want to see about booking a time. And then I can get in touch with you over Messenger, chat about a few things, booking a time, all that. Okay, make sure it's a fit. See if how I can help you out, because this is all I do. Love helping successful businessmen rocking their love lives, because, hey, you deserve, right? You want it all. This is the last slice of life, that final slice of the pie of life that you really want to really dial in much more. And look, there's always ways to improve in other areas too. I get it, but right, you're having a problem here, and you want real help and support, and that's something that I offer to you guys. Just make sure that you're committed. You're not just trying to only get one woman back, that you're really ready to have your best. It might attract that woman back. It might not, because a lot of times the reasons it didn't work out were for good reasons, but there wasn't a fit. Not always, but sometimes. And that you're, that you're a decisive, resourceful kind of guy. You're a high achiever type of guy. That's what this call is really designed for. It's just a different kind of conversation. Okay. So just type call in the comments below. And so, today we talked about, hey, all these things to help you really be on track so that your love life won't be the same 1 year from now. We talked about, got to, one, make that commitment to really sort out your love life here. Connected that. Number 2, carve out the time, some decent time. Workaholism could come into play, or hiding away and, I got to take care of my kids and this and that, when the kids are like, no, we want you to have what you want to make you happier, which will make us happier, and everything, right? You got to focus on building that lifestyle out if you don't have it, or leveraging it if you do. And then, of course, last but not least, get the right support. And you can book a call by typing call in the comments below if you want to do that. Listen, live every Monday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Ooh, I feel like a broadcaster here. They do say that Facebook and YouTube is the new whatchamacallit, TV. It's the new media. It's all going this way. It already has. I need to mention my podcast too, the Irresistible Man Dating Podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. What else? I don't know. My website, which is coreconfidence.com. You can go there. There's a tab called podcast. If you want to hear even more great information, there's videos on this page. There's all kinds of stuff to help you guys out, okay? And move you forward in your love lives, okay? So again, I'll be live later this week. You'll see me pop on here. But every Monday, Mojo Mondays, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And again, this is David Hamilton with Core of Confidence, helping successful businessmen, entrepreneurs, business owners rock their 10 out of 10 in love life for their ideal relationship with their loving, supportive, hot, beautiful, inside and out woman. Okay? Until next time, peace. See you later. And talk to you soon.